going to move into this lovely story that will hopefully either jog your memory or make the trig ratio stick. I'm gonna need some volunteer speakers. I'll do the first slide. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a super exciting story. All right, the following short story is based on the name of a great North American Indian mathematician who became famous for his wonderful proofs in trigonometry. In his tribe, they did not name their children until they reached adulthood. Then they would give them a name that was fitting and related to some aspect of their character or development. Can I have someone read this slide for me? Yes, thank you. Who's next? All right, I'll read it. From then on, he was a changed child, became very patient, never threw temper tantrums, and resolved to using reason to work out his problems. Because he was so bright, this method made him an excellent mathematician. In fact, he became the greatest mathematician in the history of his tribe. Alex.
For a regular event that would continue throughout this constant pain is what causes this lots of time.
Yep, SOHCAHTOA. Yeah, get it? Disclaimer, this story is not based on real events that occurred in history. This story was created for trig students, purely for entertainment, to help you remember these trig ratios. The end. All right, we're in our first page of the packet. The first thing that I do want you to take note of is this note down at the bottom. It is super important, and if you don't take note of it before doing these, it won't all click. You need to realize that in order for these trig ratios to apply, you need a right triangle. It's super important that you either have that symbol or the directions say it's a right triangle. You need to have it be a right triangle for these to even apply. The next thing I want to talk about is the names. We kind of discussed them earlier, but I did want to mention maybe some hints or some things to help you along to make the trig ratios easier for you. One thing I noticed about all these right triangles is across from the right angle is the hypotenuse every time. That's just an easy way to find it. And it's going to be tricky because some of these right triangles that you're working with are flipped and turned, and so you need to be able to identify the legs in the hypotenuse. The other thing that's important is realizing which one is adjacent to the angle you're talking about and which one is opposite. Now they're telling you this leg is adjacent to x, the angle x, and this angle, this leg is opposite to x. So which one of these angles is x then? The bottom one, yeah, because this angle right here, I'll draw a little x. It's right next to it, it's touching it, that's adjacent, and then to get to this one you have to go across, that's the opposite. They gave you a nice little mnemonic. If you didn't like my story, you could use this mnemonic to help you remember. It just goes down. Oscar has a heap of apples, O-H-A-H-O-A, and that would just require you to remember the order, sine, cosine, and tangent. Or you could use SOHCAHTOA because it was such a great story, I know. So basically it's just kind of realizing these trig functions and using them whenever you need to. So Now what I want to do is just do number 1 together. They already did the sine, cosine, and tangent of A for you, which you can kind of like talk yourself through. If that doesn't make sense, then maybe you want to go back and think about those trig ratios more. But we're going to do the sine, cosine, and tangent of B to make sure that we're all on the same page for that. So sine of B, I'm going to look at B. This is my angle B right here. Sine of B, what is that? Sine is what over what? Opposite over, I heard it? Hypotenuse. So opposite, we have to travel all the way across. Opposite 3 over hypotenuse. How do we know which one that is? It's across from the right angle. 3 over 5. Cosine, now we need adjacent. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent, well, B is touching this leg right here. That must be the adjacent one. 4 over, and the hypotenuse again is still 5. And tangent, that's TOA, opposite over adjacent. So we have to travel across 3 over adjacent, which is 4. And that's all they want you to do on that whole first page. So the rest of that page is homework for you. Don't forget that little question at the bottom. I know it's really small. Didn't give you much room to answer it, but don't forget that.